Sabotage.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jessica.
Hey guys. Hi, Arabella.
Hi. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm so excited, you guys. I've been fangirling. You guys are in for a treat here. We have Jessica Kobeissi. She is a portrait photographer based in Detroit, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so I already see a few people in the chat. I'll just say hello to a few of you. Hi, Viola. Hi, Cody. Hi, Sean. Hi, Christine. Lots of people joining in. If you are watching from YouTube, make sure to come on over to Behance because then you can interact with us. You can ask Jessica questions, drop any comments in the chat. So come on over. But yeah, we're so excited. Jessica, we have you for 2 days. I'm so stoked.
2 days. Me too.
And
I'm super excited.
Literally, like, this girl does not need an introduction. Let me tell you, she is an amazing photographer that if you don't already know who she is, get with it. Like, she's amazing. But she's going to be kind of diving into some like archives and like old photos, right? For some editing.
Yeah, I pulled out the little archives right here from the vault, and we're going to be
so excited
re-editing some old photos from
I love
2016.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so excited. But yeah, so just a couple of little house cleaning type things. We just had the replay of the Photoshop Creative Challenge. Thank you, Paul. So make sure to check that out because that's something that you can still submit your challenges to on Discord. There's challenges every weekday, so make sure to tune in for that. So we've got Jessica for the next 2 hours, and please feel free to ask some questions. She is here to share all the knowledge. But Jessica, do you want to just kind of talk a little bit about yourself to anyone who might be new to you? Would love to know some of the deets.
Sure. Well, I can't see the chat. So Arabella will be feeding me questions. Feel free to ask anything you want. Not too personal. Let's try to keep, if you want to ask me what my favorite cereal is, like what character I use. Someone asked me what character I use in Mario Kart. I feel like that's a good question, but really I'm open to any and all questions.
Love it.
A little bit about myself. I'm a portrait fashion photographer from Detroit. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Detroit and I've been doing this for now it's gonna be 10 years. Yeah, forever. It seems like forever.
Girl, I've been watching your YouTube channel. Like, if you need to go subscribe to her YouTube channel right now because I have learned everything from this girl, from color editing, frequency separation, and then she's got these fun challenges, like 4 photographers shoot the same model. Yes. You just need to dive in. It's a deep dive.
4 photographers, actually. People were asking me, when's the new one coming out? Because I shot one in Detroit.
I'm sure they're a lot of work though.
They are. I'm figuring out the editing situation, which is kind of ironic. It's like I do photo editing, not so much video editing. So trying to just find a good editor for that series right now. So it's going to take some time. We're trying to make it nice. It's like we're trying to make it like reality TV, I guess. So I know I've been watching so much during quarantine, so much reality TV. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, we've been finding an editor for that. And then I've been working on so many new videos, concepts. I have like a list of photography related stuff that I want to do, but I'm like so flattered that you're one of my subscribers and you
OG subscribers. Really but I just love the fact that you do this for a living. You're a portrait photographer. By the way, beautiful work, super inspired.
Thank you.
But you also have a passion for educating and showing your process and like being vulnerable and open about what you do. So I love that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. It's been a very long journey from where I started. And, I really started photography knowing absolutely nothing. So for those who aren't too familiar with, what I do and how I started, I actually was a graphic designer way before I was ever a photographer. I was using programs like Photoshop. I was using like editing programs, but Photoshop was like the big thing. And back in, I was like 12 or 13 years old, and using Photoshop was like a really big deal. Like if you used Photoshop,
MySpace,
you were like, you were
MySpace
like so
layouts,
cool.
codes, buttons.
Yeah. For like, well, when I was on the internet, I feel like I'm 50 years old, but when I was on the internet, we used to have our own websites. I don't know how many of you guys remember. A lot of people had their own blogs, like online blogs, like they used to design their websites. So I had my own. I created one after being on Neopets for some time, and I was so intimidated to use Photoshop. But one of my really good friends on Neopets, she used Photoshop. I thought she was like the coolest person ever. I'm like, I aspire to be you. And one day I just kind of took the plunge, and I'm like, I'm going to learn Photoshop. So I had been using editing programs for like, I would say 2.5 years. And then I learned Photoshop, and that kind of changed everything for me. I've been using Photoshop solely since then. Yeah. My favorite program. I live and breathe Photoshop. I use Lightroom. I've used InDesign. Illustrator, I'm not very strong in, but I had to use it for college. Was not my strong suit at all. I like flopped Illustrator so bad. Actually, funny story. My instructor in my graphic design class, he wanted us to use Illustrator, but I would always use Photoshop like low key. And I think he found out. He's like, you're supposed to do this assignment in Illustrator. And he got like so annoyed with me because I wouldn't use Illustrator because I don't know how to draw at all. I don't know about you, but like can't draw for anything, the vectors. And
that's why we take photos.
Yep. That's why we take photos and we edit those.
Exactly.
So I've always kind of had a history. With me and Photoshop have always had like a good relationship. We've had a long relationship. So been using Photoshop.
No breaks, no breakups. Love it.
Nothing, not even a single argument, except when
it crashes, here and there. Just kidding. No, Photoshop's great now. Like it rarely ever, like I haven't even seen it crash in like, I don't know, probably a few years.
It's just very reliable.
So good.
Loyal, reliable. It's always there. So I've been using Photoshop with my graphic design. I went to school for graphic design. I have a bachelor's of fine arts in graphic design. And then I ended up after graduating with my degree, I ended up doing photography. Yeah. Like I was actually doing photography when I was in college. So I have a long history of design background, which really helped me maneuver. I already knew how to use Photoshop in and out by the time I started doing photography.
Well, I'm sure that also helps you with like your portraits too, right? It's like, there you have an eye for like the kind of design principles that you learned, and kind of now you can apply them in your portraits in a way.
Absolutely. Like using things like smart objects, and then masking, and then channels, all that stuff that you wouldn't necessarily learn for photo editing. I already knew because I was using it for graphic design for so long. So I kind of just have that background. And like I said, I absolutely love Photoshop, and I know little bits, tips and tricks, I guess. I'll try to go over as many as I can in today's stream. I really want it to be fun, interactive. So if you guys watch me doing something, you have a question, feel free to, jump in. Yes. But that's really my history, I would say. Now, my history has changed since quarantine. Everything's kind of changed. I was doing senior pictures, family pictures, a lot of portrait work. And then I started working with professional agency models in 2016.
Love it.
And those are the pictures that I'm going to show you guys today, the agency models that I started to work, or not. Yes, one agency model that I worked with, and then one is my friend. So we have a good variety. Awesome. And then I started doing engagements and weddings. So I started being more like a wedding photographer for a very long time. And then, I did my last wedding that I did was in 2019. And then obviously we're in the pandemic now. So that kind of slowed things down for me.
Yeah.
So now I've been focused more on YouTube, as you know.
Yes. Well, I love it. I'm seeing your work here right now, and
Oh yeah.
you're like the queen of just this like fashion editorial, like, I think I can say that I got a 24-70 because of you.
Stop. You know how many people have told me that? That's crazy.
Literally.
That's
And
crazy.
I feel like I personally started playing around with the kind of angles and just like weird, like just looking at things differently, like perspective wise. And so I'm just obsessed. Like, what would you say about your work? How would you describe yourself?
I would say my work is like, I love wide angles. I love portraits.
Yeah.
I just like, I love to photograph female models. I think I just work best with them. When it comes to male models, sometimes I just don't know how to pose, guys. To be honest, to be completely honest with you, I don't know how guys sit and stand sometimes. I'm like, could you do one of these? I have tried to work with male models. But I would say like my passion is to, styling wise, makeup, hair, like I know a little bit of the ins and outs of that when working with female models. So that's kind of my strong suit. Here are some of my photos from my portfolio.
I love it.
Of these are my favorite photos. This one right here in particular is like one of my favorite pictures.
I love it.
That one.
Well, make sure to go follow Jessica on Instagram. Literally. But like you do that so well. I love it. But everyone go follow her on Instagram. It's at Jessica Kobeissi. And you can probably see on her website the spelling of her name just in case. But yes. I think Cody had actually dropped in the link in the chat. So thank you so much. But Cody says, gorgeous photos. Brandon Wolfel's in here. Hey guys.
Hey, Brandon.
Crystal, Brandon, I love your work, by the way. Amazing. He was in one of your challenges, right?
He was in like 50 of my challenges.
Yeah, he is like in many of them. So good to have you in here, Brandon. There's a couple.
I love how you know that, by the way. You're a real one.
Girl, you know what's up. We're gonna have so much fun on this stream, you guys. Jessica just has such a good sense of humor, so we're just gonna have fun as we watch her edit and as she shares her pro tips. So but anyway, awesome. Well, let's get started, Jessica.
Yeah, so how I wanted to start. So I thought it would be fun to kind of look at a quick overview of my old photos, because what we're going to be doing in today's stream, it's actually something kind of fun. So I'm actually going to be revisiting photos from 2016 and then re-editing them in my style today. Ooh. And I'm going to have, it's going to be fun because I want you guys to vote. I'm kind of scared saying that, but I want you guys to vote.
That's amazing. The chat loves when there's a chance that they can like get involved somehow. Yes. So chat, you better be ready to vote.
Please vote.
Animal says she made 24-70 lens look so convenient to use, and it really is.
It is. It's amazing. So we're going to have you guys vote which photo you guys prefer, the old retouch or the new retouch. Ooh. So I could flop it and you guys could say my old retouch was better, which actually is a compliment to me because I still did it. It's still my picture.
Yeah. And it means you still got it.
Yeah, right. Somehow, right. Or you could think the new edit is nicer. So let me show you guys.
It's crazy though, like the difference of like how much you can learn even like in a year, right? Like, yes. Now we're talking 6-7 years like apart? Or sorry, 4 or 5. Wow, I can't do math. 5.
Wait, what is it? 2016? Yeah, is it 5 years? It's quarantine, dude. No, I don't even know what day is it today? Tuesday?
Wednesday? I know, right? It's Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday.
We're in mid-April. Who wakes up like, oh yeah, it's April 14th? Like I'm like, is it like January again? I don't even know at this point.
I love it.
So let me show you guys some old photos. These are a combination of photos from maybe like 2015, 2014. So this is one. And I tend to over edit back in the day. So you'll notice like
all of us, right?
over styling, over too much makeup, lots of accessories. So these are some of my photos, like me not paying attention to light. As you can tell, we have the light coming in from all different areas. So just little things that really, that was my style back then. I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
This photo here, which actually like, this isn't actually not a bad photo now that I look at it. But like, I don't know. I just tend to over edit things. I remember exactly where we took this picture too. It's crazy. I was just driving and I found this like this old garage looking thing.
I think that's what I also love about your work too, is that you can find even the most like mundane of locations and just like really, I don't know, just really make them super cool. Like you just do such a good job. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm going to hype you up this whole stream, by the way. Just get used to it. Oh, Brandon says ready to vote. Viola says
Brandon's going to vote
too.
Like 2016. What's that?
Aw, Sarah says hi from Italy. Super fun. Yeah, so just so you know, everybody taps in from like so many different locations, like Adobe Live.
Where's everyone from?
Everyone tell us in the chat where you're watching from. I'd love to know. Yeah.
So these are some other
in San
photos.
Jose and you're in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So these are some last photos. Like this one, I used a lot of I filled in the blacks with a lot of violets there. And then this one as well. So just a lot of makeup, like a lot of creative. I tried to be as creative as possible. This one I took with a veil over her, and then I went it underneath it with her and took some photos.
Fun.
And these ones, I use a studio light for this one.
Nice.
Studio was always like a process for me. These ones were a little bit over edited, but I mean, you don't see a lot of detail, but that's what I'm going to do. My strategy, I'll tell you guys my strategy. This one right here, I use a studio light.
Yeah.
I was like practicing. Beautiful. I got my first beauty dish and I'm like, oh, let's try to use it. So this one was like a really big deal to me.
Ooh, people are telling in the chat where they're from. We've got Oregon, LA in the house, Indonesia, Ontario, Canada, Western Canada, New York, Kentucky, Nicaragua. Ooh.
Cool.
Brooklyn, Columbus, Canada. So many people. Oh my God. Minneapolis, Mexico. We have someone from Mexico.
Woohoo.
I don't know where Mauritius is, but that's amazing. And south of France. Love it.
Nice.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you're here for day 2 tomorrow as well.
We have day 2. Yes.
Yes.
Where you can vote again.
Yes,
you can vote again. Okay. So let's get it started. We're going to actually I have 2 photos. So what do you guys think? I'll have you guys tell me which one you want me to edit first.
Put photos next to each other and then we'll see.
And I'll tell you guys.
We're down.
So I actually have this photo here. Who remembers where this is from? Who remembers in the chat where this photo is from? Tell us. If you know, you get brownie points. I want to know who said it first. Who got it right?
Okay. Ooh, someone from Serbia.
Brandon's gonna know. Brandon, don't say anything. Brandon's gonna know.
I love it.
So that's one of the photos.
Okay.
And then where's the other one? The other one is right here. Okay. Okay, so we have this photo.
Beautiful.
And then this one. So we have these 2.
Okay. I'm personally leaning towards that floral one. Yeah, this one. Yes.
Maybe we'll do this one. But did anyone guess where it's from, where this picture is from?
Nobody's said anything yet, but the chat's always a little bit behind too because we're a little ahead.
Oh, that's true. Okay. So we're 3 seconds into the future. So
exactly. Alexander says 4 photographers shoot the same model.
Yes, that's right. What episode? What episode was this from?
I know.
Okay, so we're going to open up this one.
Perfect.
And this is the before, actually. Let me show you guys the before. So that's the before.
Okay.
That's after. So I even edited out this thing. I don't know how I had, I was doing the most back then. 2016, Jessica. I could never now. So I'm going to have to do it now because So we have these 2. I'm going to open this up.
Perfect.
Okay. Hopefully it opens up in the right program. So, Macs are acting crazy today. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Oh, let me bring this up so it doesn't crop. Okay. So we have the camera raw window. Now,
is this your usual process too? Like you start in camera raw?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll add a base on it. Base colors. I'll
just
go
a
through.
Little treatment.
Yeah. like a little treat. It's like going to the salon, like get my hair washed. I tend to not like it being so contrasted when I first open it into Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is try to bring out as much detail as possible. But like one thing I notice is when I bring out the shadows too much, her hair almost becomes lighter, and it's not a really easy fix in Photoshop for me, at least, like when I'm like toning. So I'll bump up the shadows just a little bit. And then I'll really just do small adjustments that, again, decrease the contrast. So it's less, because sometimes the photo it's too intense. You know, you just want to, if you ever look at, color grading with videos, do you see how when they do like a color profile, it's very like plain, it's basically gray, and then they add the colors on. So that's kind of where I took inspiration from, because when I was doing videos, I would look at how they applied LUTs, and the LUTs would apply so much better when it was like a plain blank photo. So that's kind of like my inspiration.
Right. I love that. And you're making very like kind of minimal adjustments too. You're not going too wild.
Yeah. I tend to like avoid the tone curve until I get into Photoshop, because that's something that I want to change. But it's worth noting that I'm pretty sure you can do adjustments back in RAW anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So even if I do make a mistake, I can just go back and adjust it.
That's true.
The calibration is something that I use primarily in the RAW window. I like to adjust the colors. For this though, I just kind of like toggle back and forth and see what I like. So nice. it's kind of tough though, because you always see something and you're like, oh, let's make this the final look, but then you go into Photoshop and add a million things, and then it starts to look kind of messy. So I'm trying to keep the base of the photo kind of minimal. Oh, you know what I am gonna do?
Are you the kind of person that like you kind of just like go into it without really having like a specific like plan with like what colors you want to go towards, or do you just kind of like discover it on the way and just
exactly. I mean, it depends. If it's like a creative project, it takes me so much longer to edit because I'm not going through my normal process.
Right.
It takes me forever. Like I sent this girl photos that I took of her like a month later. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I just couldn't send you them right away because I wanted them to be perfect. Like I can't send you them just within like a couple of days just so you can have them right away. I really want them to be perfect for your book. I like really want to make sure that they look good, you know, and it just takes me a while to like I'm a Libra. I'm not blaming it on my sun sign, but I'm just saying like I'm extremely indecisive. I can't make decisions. So when it comes to editing, I don't know anyone else who's a Libra in the chat.
Any Libras in the chat?
Any Libra in the chat. You guys will know we can't make decisions. Like, so I'm here taking months editing a set of photos.
Hey, that just means that you are really like you're putting in the time and the effort and paying attention to details. So
exactly.
I think that's a good
thing. It takes like they get their picture, the models get their picture back, they get like they look like a different person, they have a new haircut, they got taller, they can't use your pictures anymore.
Fairy's asking, how do you arrange your lighting conditions?
Well, now I'm a lot more deliberate with my lighting. I mean, it's pretty crazy now. Like lighting is so crucial to a photo. And when I was first starting out, I barely paid attention to it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like I either shot even lighting like this where it's shaded,
right,
or I shot backlit. Never shot direct light, never shot side light. That was my worst nightmare. I shot side light clearly and unintentionally. Why? Because the sun was so high up. Why? Because I didn't pay attention to the time that I was taking the pictures when I should have. I really should have done that. But when you're first starting out, you don't pay attention to the time of day because that's so crucial to your photo shoot. Where's the sun going to be? How high up is the sun going to be? So now I'm a lot more deliberate. I plan my photo shoots based on time of day.
Nice. That makes sense.
And right now I'm just kind of trying to get when you have greens in a picture, you really want to make sure that they're the right hue and saturation. It's so funny because who was with me? There was a photographer that was with me. One of my photographer friends, we were looking at like the greens, we were about to take a picture and the greens in the picture were like so ugly. We were just like comparing like the greens when the sun hits like a patch of like flowers or wherever, the green is different. When it's golden hour, the greens are a different tone. In the morning, in shade, the greens are a different tone. So we were just kind of like roasting the type of greens that we were going to like photograph. Like, oh, this type of green is so ugly.
Like, poor green. I mean, you either make it more yellow or you make it more like
it's like blue or something.
Blue, yeah.
It's like, what can you do really? Okay, so I've been on here for like 20 minutes just doing this, and I really we just need to move on here. So
yes. And people are in the chat are saying, yep, I know the feeling. Libra here too.
Seriously, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to blame the universe for how I am, but low-key I kind of am, because I need someone to blame. So someone's got to come through.
Fairy's asking, what does side light mean?
Side light. So basically right now I'm kind of side lit. So you see the light source is coming in mostly here and my face is kind of in shade. So side light is when the light, you see right there how there's like a shadow. So the light is kind of, I have windows here coming in this way. So I'm kind of to the side of the light source. Whereas if I turned, look, I'm doing a whole session right now. If I turned more this way, it's more direct. So so that's kind of how that type of lighting would be. Again, it's not for everybody. Some people hate side light. It accentuates lines on the face and all that. I would say if you're going to shoot side light, do it golden hour side light or direct, like soft light would be like really flattering. Yes.
Amazing. And Miriam's asking, what time do you like to shoot in?
Alhamdulillah. I like to shoot in like golden hour, like a couple, like an hour or two before sunset, I would say is like my favorite time. Cloudy days are also great. It's so funny because clients hate cloudy days. Like they start freaking out. Like one of my clients was texting me, oh my God, it's cloudy. It's going to ruin everything. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude,
it's like the best.
Thank the universe. Thank God, because it's cloudy. That's the best. You could not have asked for a better day. Like that's the best kind of light.
I know.
I'm going to wrap up this. Okay. Also, one thing I do want to mention is on optics, I did use profile corrections. It kind of fixes the distortion on the side of the lens. Because I was using a 24-70. Wait. Yes, I was, but it was at 50 millimeter. I was like, did I use a 50? Maybe I did use a 50. I don't even know, you guys. This was 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So we don't know. Okay, so we're going to open this in Photoshop and we're going to start.
Love it.
Hopefully it's already looking better than 2016. Should I have the 2016 like on the side?
Oh my gosh.
Should I just?
You'll have to like pull it up like every other 30 minutes or something.
Okay, yeah, I'll just have it like here. Just to remind myself like, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. It's looking worse. Okay. So first things first, I have an action.
Ooh,
and then I'm just going to play it here.
Oh, Cody says, yeah, I hear that a lot. I always have to explain how cloudy days are good for photography. Most people assume it's awful. And Christine says, I also prefer cloudy days.
Right? Like, yeah, but
it's really nice.
That's the thing with when you're working with clients. Sometimes there are things that they're not going to know, and you just have to explain to them, hey, this is a good thing. Yeah, you have to kind of educate your clients. A lot of us, I'm sure, have been through this where it's like, it's so obvious, but to them they're not aware of it. So it's just again that thing of like educating your client.
Okay, tell me what this action just did.
Okay, so it just kind of activated frequency separation. It created 2 different layers here, and I actually duplicated it. Let me just get rid of the one I duplicated. So frequency separation is basically, it just separates your image into 2, like one is blurry, which is basically just you're correcting like the colors, and you're smoothing out, all these like little areas right here, you're smoothing it out. And then the top layer is the texture, so you're correcting any little like any obvious texture that kind of doesn't flow into your photo. Right. So you're just kind of smoothing out both layers, and that's how I would describe it. Couple things though, what you could do is you could start this off by not doing frequency separation and then just going into your picture and then simply using the spot healing brush,
Right.
which I guess we could do a little bit of that actually. Let me delete the frequency separation just to show you guys.
Yeah, love it.
One of
People
my
like
friends,
to see it.
yeah, why not? Right, we're here. Yeah. So spot healing brush is kind of it's way easier than the actual healing brush.
I think so too.
But the issue is like you don't have that much control over it sometimes. Like it kind of does its own thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, so also what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer by pressing this button here. And then what you want to do is you want to select sample all layers. So if you just do the healing brush tool on this empty layer, it's not going to do anything. You got to sample somewhere. So we're going to do sample all layers, and then it's going to sample from the background. Got it. So very small brush. And here are my
brush settings.
My brain's not working today, but that's okay. Why did I just do that? So here are my brush settings, 20 pixels for the size. Hardness, I like to keep it at 100%. Mm-hmm. Spacing, it's just a default brush setting. And I have pen pressure on. I am using a Wacom tablet for those interested. You can really see where I concentrate my editing right here. So this tablet, for those wondering, is oh my God, the font. It cannot be, oh my God, you guys, it's like, great. I have to get you guys the name of this because I literally can't see it. Like, can you barely see the text?
Yeah, no.
Wow, they're making this hard. Okay, so again, let's get rid of small stuff. Like, see this piece of hair right here?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the spot healing brush, very, very small brush, and we're just going to kind of go over this tiny hair. But this may or may not work on here. That's why I don't use the spot healing brush a lot.
It's just like kind of for like more obvious things.
Yeah, right? It's like for the it's for like it's more spots and little blemishes, like this area right here cleans up nice. Like this line, let me show you guys. Like, oh, okay, wait, no, I lied. It got rid of it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like sometimes you don't know if it'll get it right. It takes a few times because even like if you go over it once, like, you know, it might do something different. You just don't know.
Crazy. Okay, now we're getting this look. So I'm using a really tiny brush and we're just kind of going over, because who's had a photo where it looks great, but then there's like a piece of hair in the middle of the face, like right in the middle, and you're like, I'm about to spend 20 hours in Photoshop right now. You cry when you get home. You're like, how could I not see that? I don't know. Okay, so we're just getting rid of any little blemishes. Now you could
Cody says, I think that's a 1 by Wacom.
No, I don't think that's it.
No,
it's like an older one. It's like the CTL something. I don't know. Cody might be right.
We don't know.
Cody, you might be.
Ooh, Sharon Nabi says, I like the healing brush better for editing texture. And Miriam says, I love using the spot healing one too.
Yeah, spot healing. My goal for spot healing is not to edit the entire texture. It's just little tiny spots, like this spot right here. Or like this spot right here, just little tiny areas. I'm kind of copying my friend Kaylee. She does professional dodge and burn. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
That takes hours and hours.
That technique is insane.
I know. I wish that I could learn. I was trying to learn at one point. I took a class with somebody on it, and it just I learned, but it's tough. Okay, so I would say let's zoom out here. You always want to zoom out. Sometimes you kind of get stuck.
Yeah, zooming in and out.
Yeah, right. Let me do a before and after to see what we did. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Now we can see. See, somebody told me once, don't zoom in too much because you're going to get sucked in. You're going to get lost, literally. You're going to need a directory. You got to go to concierge and be like, where am I? I'm lost at the mall. You ever
Susan
do that?
says, I love my Wacom tablet too.
Right? There's some that are touch, but I use the one that's kind of plugged. I need to get the Bluetooth one. That's what I need to get, you guys.
Ooh.
The Bluetooth one.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm also seeing, you guys see these shadows from the
From the
flowers.
Yeah.
From the flowers that I didn't know what they were called like 2 seconds ago. So we want to make sure that we're not changing the shadow color. Like those are the kind of the areas I'm paying attention to. Okay, but everything else looking pretty good. I would say that we're ready to now start the frequency separation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to merge all the layers together by pressing Command, Alt, Shift, and E.
Oh my gosh.
And then it just kind of merges, them all together. Okay. And also, oh, there we go. Okay. So again, I'm just pressing my action. You don't have to have an action for it. You can do it manually but I wouldn't, that would be
It just makes your life easier.
Just get the action.
Yeah.
I should have on my website somewhere.
I think, Miriam says, are we able to view this after? And yes, you are. This will be available for replay. So you can watch all of these, editing tips and tricks by Jessica. Same with tomorrow's stream as well. And then Alexander, I think he got it. It's an Intuos model CTL 4100 WL.
Yes.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
I need someone like that in my life just looking up stuff for me.
I know. The chat is super helpful and so engaging. So thank you guys for being here.
Hopefully you guys will like this retouch. Oh, also, I turned off my high frequency layer just so it becomes a little bit more clear to me when I'm retouching. Sometimes when you have the high frequency on, you kind of lose focus. So I just you do lose your focus turning it off because it's blurry, So I guess that's that. if you really want to be technical about it. So again, I'm going to really just be careful of those shadows. See these darker shadows here with the flowers? You got to be careful. I love using flowers in my work.
Yeah,
love it.
They're really pretty. I love it.
And also, what I'm doing now is I'm using my healing brush tool, and then I'm just kind of blending it in. And here's the thing. This has taken me years to perfect. So if you're watching this and it's looking intimidating, don't be intimidated by this. If you keep practicing, you're going to get it. There's just no way you can keep doing this technique and not get
there's
it. There's going to be time. And not you really will pick it up pretty easily. I'm just kind of like smoothing out the colors, like things like this area. It's looking a little bit patchy. You just want to get rid of anything like that. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I'm doing. Before, I used to kind of go really overboard with frequency separation. Now I'm a bit more light-handed with it, and I'll also decrease the opacity of the final layer just so it kind of blends in more.
Right. So. That's so fun. Yeah. And did you get this action from somewhere, or did you create it yourself?
I created it myself.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes all you gotta if you can't find something, just make it, I guess.
And you have a good tutorial too on your YouTube channel about this,
yes,
really in depth.
I have so many. Yeah. If you guys ever want to know how to do if you're a beginner and you're interested in this technique, I have so many tutorials on this. I would definitely check them out.
Yeah, you go super in depth too, which is great. But
I try my best, because when I was learning on YouTube, there were not a lot of tutorials out there, so I try to provide.
I would agree with you on that. I think that's why I found your channel, and I was really impressed that you were sharing so much, and I think that's what was cool. I was great, okay, I can learn from you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So yeah, I highly recommend it. It's an awesome channel, and you can it's awesome.
You're so sweet. There's one I will not forget. This one time I wanted to collab with another photographer, and she's super talented, so talented, but she didn't end up collabing with me because she kind of didn't want to show her technique. Yeah. And I get it. I get it. And I respect that. I told her, hey, it's no problem.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. A lot of photographers are secretive about their techniques. And again, I can respect that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I appreciate so much what Adobe's doing with Adobe Live. I think that, I think it's just we are all using the same tools. You know what I mean? Like what, just because you have one, you know, technique or something that you're doing, you know, another person isn't going to be able to like copy that really because they're not you know?
Exactly. And I think that's a fear for a lot of photographers. Hey, if I show someone how to do this, they're going to copy me and they're going to take over what I'm doing. Honestly, you can show somebody how to do something like I mean, look at Gordon Ramsay. Like, he's so successful in what he does because he's himself. He's hilarious. Like his personality, it's him as a person. Obviously, he's extremely talented. But he goes around like helping restaurants. Look how I'm talking about Gordon Ramsay. I love his TikTok, by the way. Oh man, he's hilarious. Love his TikTok. He did a TikTok. I know I'm going like off the topic, but he did this TikTok where he went to a Starbucks drive-through and he's like, he ordered a sandwich and he's like going through the sandwich. I was like dying. I'm like, he's so funny. But that's the thing. Like you're going to watch that because it's Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. Because you know, you've seen his work and his food is amazing. He's very successful.
And every individual is going to be so unique. So like, however, like whatever technique, you know, if they learned it from someone else, like they're going to put their own spin on it because it's not going to be, you know, it's going to be different. It's all going to be different. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what kind of scares a lot of photographers from sharing a lot of their techniques, and even like mentoring other photographers. They have that fear. So I would say don't like helping people, and even me like creating tutorials that people are like, oh, I started photography because of this, or you know, you helped me learn this. I mean, that makes my day. I love to be that resource for people.
That's awesome. I love that.
So I'm turning on the layer now real quick just to see what we got so far. So that's before and that's after. We kind of concentrated right here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just go into this under eye area, and the under eye area can be really tricky because once you over edit that area, it's going to look fake. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer by going to Command Shift N, and then you can just name the layer however you want. And you know what I love? In Photoshop, you can color code your layers too. So you can put this as like a separate layer, like a red layer. So when I press OK, it'll show up as a red layer, which is great if you have a lot of layers. Yeah, it does make it easy. Photoshop has so many little tiny like things that you can learn,
and it truly is constantly improving. And you know, there's always so many updates and things that get added. It's really an incredible tool, and I love you know that it's something that the creative community can use and, you know, create beautiful things. I love it.
Love Photoshop.
Cody says, I've actually watched Jessica's videos in the past. I love your next top model reaction videos.
Thank you.
He also likes Gordon Ramsay. And Sharon Navi says, nobody's in your brain and has your point of view. We can all have the same tools and shoot the same subject and still end up with completely different images, which absolutely, completely agree with that.
Which is the premise of For Photographers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Which proves it.
It proves it. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, don't be afraid to share. Honestly. Oh, and also, okay. So what I just did real quick is I took a brush and then I kind of sampled her skin tone next to her eye by holding down the Alt Option key on my Mac. And then I'm kind of sampling near her eye. And then with 11% opacity, I just kind of very lightly went over that eye area.
Is it just to kind of like brighten it up a little bit? Oh,
just a little bit. I might actually like decrease it a bit, kind of like right here. You want it to be subtle. That's my look for 2021. So a lot of people will just get rid of it completely, which I used to do. Listen, I used to do that. I'm guilty. Throw me prison, 25 to life. Like that's what I did. But now I'm being more conservative about the retouching. And also I do this series where I go over retouched photos. And a lot of the times they will retouch the eyeball. Oh my God. And people will be like, no, what if her eye is really that bright? I'm like, no, it's not. So I mean, in a very, very, very like special case, would I say, oh yeah, her eyeball is that clean and bright and there's no veins in her eyeball.
Right.
But I mean, for the most part, there's a bit of editing involved there. So what I'm doing is just cleaning up. I'll show you guys how they do that too. And all of this is going to be under the high frequency layer because it is textured. So you still want it to kind of blend in there. So I'm going to take a color from here. And actually, maybe I'll do a white color. We'll start with white. And then if it's too much, we'll go the other way. We'll run the other way. So this is what they do. And I'm telling you, you're saying like, oh, or not you, but people are saying like, oh, her eye must be that bright. No, it's not. It's Photoshop.
Yes.
So it's Photoshop.
I know, you'd be surprised how much more is edited than you think, especially for like portrait fashion.
Yes. Yeah. But you know why? Because it's done so well. I mean, you're talking about professional retouchers, and it's not so much even portraits or fashion, like not what we photographers see from other photographers. I'm talking about celebrities editing their photos, making it seem like, oh, this is how I really look. When you really, come on, like, let's be realistic. Your eye's not that bright. Okay. Your eye's not that bright. So something even like this, would you have even been able to tell that something was done? You're like, so
it's so
I'm going to
subtle.
I'm going to zoom out here. It's a little bit more obvious, but just something even like this, like, but you can still see her veins. They will go to the point where they're editing out the veins, which here's
wild.
another thing. Here's another thing they do. They go to layer, new adjustment layer curves. Not exactly, maybe not exactly, but what they'll do and what I love to do is mask out certain parts and brighten them up. So I'm going to brighten this up just a little bit. And then I'm going to select this curves box right here. And then I'm going to create, it's basically a mask. You're masking out this adjustment layer. This box right here is essentially your mask. So what we want to do is invert the mask by pressing Command I. And also, I used to struggle so much with masking when I was in college. Like with Photoshop, I had to learn masking, the ins and outs of masking, image clipping, nightmare.
Yeah.
It's tough once you get it.
Once you get it, yeah. Then it's like it opens up a whole new world of just like, oh, this is nice because you can take it back, you can put it back. You know, it's like you can take it away. You know,
absolutely. And also, one thing you can do is decrease the flow so that you're building up the brush. So instead of it just coming in like super intense and strong, you can build the flow. And a lot of retouchers use this technique. So what we're going to do is our foreground color is white. The mask is black. So what that is doing is when you're going over it with your foreground color, it's revealing the part of the mask that you want shown. If that makes, I'm trying to explain it in the easiest way possible. Oh, but here's my issue. Okay, before I do that, you guys know in my original edit, I got rid of this flower in her eye, and I'm gonna have to do it right now. So hopefully it'll look as good as it did in 2016. So real quick, we're just collapsing the frequency separation layer. I'm coming back to it. I mean the group, we're collapsing the group, making a brand new layer. I'm gonna name it New Eye. I don't even know, New Eye. So what I wanna do is, okay. Got, like, everyone say a prayer right now.
I know, right?
Oh, and real quick, I'm going to turn off that white eye layer just until I get the new eye in place, you know?
Yeah.
So we're going to take this. I have to make sure opacity is at 100, flow is at 100. This is going to be a little adventure. Okay, here we go. Oh, and then you always want to remember, sample. You're going to sample all layers. So what that means is it's gonna take the reference point for the clone stamp from all the layers.
I love this tip because I feel like usually when I'm retouching, I'll just like duplicate the main layer versus like, you know, doing it makes more sense to do like an actual new layer and just sample it and do that.
And instead of having it stuck to the whole picture. Plus it makes your file size larger.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's crazy.
Okay. So here we go, guys. Okay. Oh God. Okay. We're going to do this. Okay. Okay.
Ooh, we have a few. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. We're getting there. Let's, we got to go. We can't be heavy handed with this. And of course I'm going to go over and fix it because it's not blended. properly. So what I did is I just decreased the opacity, and I'm going to decrease the flow just a little bit.
Nice.
And I'm going to have to blend this in too completely.
Right.
I'm going to have to blend this area in there as well. This is going to be kind of tough. Actually, okay. So it's not blended.
It's like getting there though. Oh, there you go.
I'm kind of adjusting it. Yeah, I'm kind of adjusting it. There we go. Wow.
There you go.
Amazing.
Good job.
Look at that. Okay.
We had a few questions, but I think you'll probably be explaining this in a little bit. Nora says, is it possible to explain how to do the frequency separation process, please? Which I'm sure you'll do in a little sec. You can explain it. But Faye's asking, do you use full frame camera or half frame camera? I've never heard of a half frame.
You mean crop sensor?
Or crop sensor. Maybe that's it. Yeah.
So I use full frame. And the reason being is because the lens that I use, I want it to be able to get the, like, when you have a crop sensor, it will crop your lens, like if you're using a 50 lens, it's technically not 50 anymore. It's like, it's even closer than that. So you're not necessarily using the lenses to their full like millimeters, if you can say that. So it always kind of crops in. Mm-hmm. So having full frame definitely for me was really important. But if you're first starting out, I see nothing wrong with having a crop sensor camera. Not a lot of us have money to spend on full frame. They're expensive.
You have to save up for that.
I saved up for expensive. 2 years, to buy my camera. Like, you guys think I had money? I didn't. I had literally nothing. My family came from nothing. I mean, it was a struggle. Like no one bought me anything. My dad wasn't like, oh, let me buy you a camera. Like I had to pay for everything. So I mean, I get it. Like photography is super expensive too, by the way. Like you're talking lenses,
hobby and
lenses
career.
that talk to lenses that cost more than the actual camera. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
I know.
Okay, look at this, you guys. It's looking so good.
Yeah, that looks really good.
So again, we're not going to create, like, I'm trying to be kind of light-handed with it, and we're taking our time so we can make sure that it looks amazing.
Looks seamless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, but then this is like obviously pointing out. So I'm just gonna kind of take from here and blend it in. Probably bump up the flow.
Nice. Sharon says, I use curves and masks for editing eyes too.
Right? That she knows what's up. She knows what's up.
Yes. And Rosalie says, can we watch this after the live ended? Yes. This will be available for replay. So, don't worry if you have to leave,
If you have to leave, we understand.
You have to leave, we understand.
We will miss
this
you.
will be available. Yes.
We'll miss you.
And if you guys are watching on YouTube, please come over to Behance. Then we can, see you in the chat. You can interact with Jessica, ask her questions. So yeah, love it. That looks really good, Jessica.
Okay, so thank you. Hopefully, it's like that little piece. Oh crap. Mm-hmm. Okay, no. See, it's that the spot healing brush tool. Okay, let me zoom out and see how it looks.
Okay.
That looks pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Come on, guys.
Good.
Give this one to me.
Yep. I'm giving it to you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So what we're going to do now is turn that one layer on. I'm actually going to take this. Actually, I'm going to put the new eye under the frequency. Wait, no, I'm not, because it's a clone stamp tool. Okay. We're not doing that. We're going to have to drag this white layer, put it up here, and then there we go. So nice. I just kind of moved it by dragging it up. So it's kind of out of this little group tree right here. Okay. So then we're going to move the curves layer up here, and then I'm going to finish the frequency separation in a second. Actually, perfect. Let's do that real quick. And then again, I'm grabbing my healing brush tool. And then,
do you mind explaining that process again, just for the person that asks the question?
Yeah, so it's basically just kind of sampling from a clean area and then just smoothing everything out. Mm-hmm. Like, see these like little patches right here?
You probably can't see earlier too. We Jessica has a like in-depth tutorial too on her YouTube channel. Where she kind of explains how you even like build that the two layers, because there's two of them, right? There's like a duplicated layer of like the main layer, and it's like a little bit blurred, right?
So it's high frequency and low frequency. Yeah.
High frequency,
but you're
and
right.
Low frequency. Yeah. Love it.
Yes. So basically, like any kind of inconsistencies you guys see right here, this is totally normal, by the way. Everyone has spots like these. No one has a clean arm and a clean hand. We all have lines on our hands. Totally normal. As a photographer and retoucher, this is kind of like my art. So that's why I love retouching, and I love cleaning up my images. But when looking at these pictures, remember there's editing and retouching involved.
Yeah.
So I'm
Definitely
just cleaning up
remember.
these little areas. Yeah, always something to remember as a photographer. And I mean, I've been editing for so long. I don't really think twice about it because I already know what's edited. I'm like, oh yeah, she totally edited her nose or her eyes or smoothed out her skin. That's kind of obvious to me, but it may not be to other people. So it's always helpful to point that out.
Yeah. Chris says, cool stuff. And Casper is asking, have you switched to mirrorless yet?
Oh God. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna. Here's the thing. It's like a relationship where I'm like, okay, do I want to like be with this person, or like do I not want to be with this person? I was thinking about it, and then I'm like, okay, like we could be good together, but then also like I'm kind of good with what I have right now with my 5D Mark IV. I was really considering mirrorless until I don't know. I don't know if I'm loving
when
the
you
system,
have something good, why change it, right? You know what I mean? You already have your system down. With the mirrorless, you'd have to like really like learn something new all over again in a way.
Yeah, and I have a mirrorless camera for my video, but I'm not. I know it's gonna sound crazy. Like, listen, I love EVF, that electronic viewfinder, but I kind of just prefer what I have now. The 5D Mark IV is just, I'm very plain and simple. I don't always prefer like the newest, the best, the most expensive things, because I like to just be as creative as possible. So I don't necessarily think I need to upgrade right now, even though literally all of my friends are like on mirrorless right now.
Yeah, I have the 5D Mark III and I love it. I mean, I've had
camera.
it for like 5-6 years.
Great camera, honestly.
So good. Yeah. And then Fairy's asking how to know whether my camera is full frame or not.
If it's an entry level like if it's like a Rebel series, it will most likely be cropped. There's different like tiers of cameras. Like if it's the 5D series, it's probably going to be full frame. It will usually say full frame camera. What kind of camera do they have?
Yeah, let us know
what's
in the chat.
Model of your camera?
Yes.
Like I know enough about the technicalities of photography. Like I learned about full frame and cropped sensor and all that stuff, but then to actually say it, like kind of explain it, sometimes it's hard for me. I never want to mess up. I get nervous.
The words of it is like, I get nervous. I'm the same way. It's like, you know what it does, you know what the difference is like in your head, but it's like trying to explain it is like
you don't want to sound dumb, like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But I mean, I just can't explain. I'm just not. How about I'm not good at explaining, you know? Another thing is I hate editing hands, you guys. The worst thing ever. So instead of like going over it with the healing brush tool, what I'm gonna do is I'm making a new raster layer, and then I'm just going over it very lightly. Same thing like I did with the under eye area. So we're just sampling nearby, and then I'm kind of lightly, opacity is at 8%, flow is at 9%, very lightly kind of going over the hand. I hate editing hands. It's a nightmare. And if you over edit the hands, they look like, it doesn't even look like a hand. You have like no bones in there. Looks like a Barbie hand, basically. You don't want a Barbie hand.
Barry says that they have the Sony A6000 and a Nikon D80.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know any of the Nikon or Sony. I'm sorry.
I know.
But you should, if you look it up, do a quick Google search. Just type in your camera model and type in crop sensor, and usually like they'll say like, oh, this is full framer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I can't be of
Oh,
more assistance.
Animal in the chat is saying generally single digits and model name are full frame. That makes sense.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
love
Animal.
people educating me. I love
I
it.
know. It's amazing. I love it.
I really do. I think that's like, now I learned something new.
We can all
That's
learn
great.
from each other, right? You know?
Yeah, I love that. Now I just learned something new. Okay, so last thing, we're going to go to the high frequency layer.
Okay.
I'm just going to lightly go over. Who started the thing editing the hands? But you know what? You got to be consistent. That's the reason why I do it. You have to be consistent. Like the face can't be retouched and then the hands like not retouched. So
that's so true.
Even though that's me in real life, it's going to be very obvious. So we're kind of just...
How long do you think it takes you to retouch like one portrait photo?
Maybe like... I don't know, less than an hour, I would say.
Okay.
But using frequency separation. If we're talking about dodge and burn, I'm here for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to need a whole weekend to get through. A whole week. And then for like high frequency, what I'm doing is I'm kind of just like holding the Alt Option key and then just kind of stamping in texture. I just do a little dab there.
Yeah.
That was not like a TikTok reference, like a dab. Do people even do that anymore? Is that in? Anyone from Gen Z? Like, I'm like, anyone from Gen Z replying the chat? Hi, anyone? Is there any Gen Z? What do we call them? Gen Z? Is there any Gen Z in the chat? Any Gen Zers?
Yes. Raise your hand. Just kidding.
Because we can say like, are there any millennials in the chat? But like, what do you say
right?
for Gen Z? Gen Zers?
I think Gen Z makes sense.
I love Gen Z.
Christine's asking, why are you retouching the hands? Which I think you kind of mentioned, where it's like, well, you can't retouch the face without retouching.
Yeah.
It's also part of your process, right? It's like kind of like your stamp, like your treatment.
So normally I don't care to retouch the hands, but you do have to keep your image consistent. For instance, if I cleaned up her face and it was all nice and perfect and looking nice, and then her hands like just complete like that. Look at my hand. Like, what is this crusty hand? Like, look at that. If it was like this, you would notice it would be very distracting as a viewer. So to combat this, you just got to clean it all up. So
nice.
That's the way it goes.
Barry says, I'm Gen Z. Casper says Gen Z.
Love it.
We've got a boomer. We've got Gen X. Love it.
We love all the generations.
We love it all. So fun.
Okay.
Very nice.
So we're just cleaning up over here. And again, we have the shadows here, which I probably didn't pay attention to 5 years ago, but today I am paying attention to the shadows.
Yeah, right. Sharon's asking, how long does it take you to edit out frizz from hair?
Oh my God, that's a nightmare too. Did I mention that's another thing that I hate to retouch? Frizz. It doesn't take me too long, but unless I try to avoid that at all costs by just going over the model's hair in person, and just I actually have I bring this this, what's it called? Like anti-frizz, like what is it called? Like, no, it's not an oil, but it's like a cream. It's like a cream.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I bring that with me, and then I'll put it on the girls. Like, I'll just have them do one of these.
Whatever you can do, like in camera or like at the shoot to like help you, is going to be great, because then you don't have to spend as much time and like retouching.
Yes. It's like 2 hours of retouching pretty much. But it does take me too long to edit frizz. Really depends on how bad it is, I guess you could say. Yeah. I haven't been in any cases where it's like 2 hours of retouching. Usually pretty quick. But I am moving on to dodge and burn eventually, so I'll be doing dodge and burn retouching.
Very nice.
Whenever I have time for that. Whenever I have time.
If you're just joining us now, we're here with Jessica Kobeissi. She is a portrait photographer based in Detroit, Michigan. She's going over her frequency separation process at the moment, just cleaning up or retouching the skin, making it super nice.
Yes, and then we're gonna do like a little bit more of enhancement, and then we're gonna do the colors, and then it's gonna be looking cute. It's gonna look so cute.
I love it.
So this is, how much time do we have left, by the way?
I know, right? We're in an hour, so like we have.
Okay, so that gives me enough time.
Yeah, we have
I
like
got nervous. I'm like, do I have like 20
minutes?
Okay. Just so I'm like on track.
Yeah, you're a good girl.
Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes I'll.
Yes. Animal says fixing hair while shooting was an eye opener watching Jessica's videos. The difference it makes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. What I would say to that is you always want to like ask the model before you just like start going up, touch,
Yes.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure people are, but again, and it's nothing. It's probably something that people don't even realize. Like, oh, maybe I should just,
maybe I should ask.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So totally. I always ask the models. A lot of the models have become like really good friends of mine. So, but it always like, it's just.
Yeah. It's just to be respectful.
Considerate thing to do. Like Azizi, the model in this photo, Azizi, one of my closest friends, love her to death. I mean, she's been in so many videos of mine, have her in so many challenges.
Yeah.
Really good friend of mine. She reached out to me on Instagram and we just became friends ever since. So
I love that.
Yeah. So it's like kind of like you're working with your friends. It's really, it's fun. Like I'm so grateful. And
I don't know if you feel this way for your shoots, but I feel like every time I'm shooting, it's like a little bit of a hype session at the same time. Like I'm like, yes, girl.
Can you come to my photo shoots, please? Come hype me up. Sometimes I'm like, damn, it's not a good pic. What did I just do? So real quick, guys, remember the curves layer we just set that we put the mask on? We're going back to that. Remember, this is what it looks like. Right. And I just inverted it by pressing Command I. And then we're going to brighten up her eyes. You can probably barely see it, but it's going to make a big difference. Okay, so going through here. You ever see those photographers that like really sharpen the eyes? It's like so crazy sharpened. I kind of love that.
Yeah, me too.
But sometimes it like brings like you can overdo it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we're just kind of brightening this up, and I want to see if there we go. See, because
such a big difference.
You gotta like you gotta like close the eye and just to see what you did there for a second. So we're doing that, and what you want to do is go from from normal to nope, never mind, I lied. Usually you could do that. Okay, so we're gonna keep this to normal, and then what you can do, which I love, is you can literally go to the curves layer and adjust kind of the brightness. Keep adjusting it, which I love. Like you can do one of the. Don't do one of these. That's kind of I mean you could. I don't think the model would like that. You kind of just adjust the brightness just by going that curves layer, and it will affect only the eyeball or the area that you chose.
That you masked, yeah.
And then I'm just setting my opacity to, I want to do like 8%, and then going over the eyeball yet again. Is that too much? I feel like sometimes I could go overboard. Okay, there we go. See what a difference that made just popping out her eye?
I know. Well, it just brings the focus to her. Like I just immediately look at her eyes.
Right? Okay, thank you. Okay, wait, maybe that's too much. See, sometimes like you stare at it for too long, but that's why you just decrease the opacity.
Right.
And then let me show you guys.
It's nice to see Jessica on Adobe Live. I need to try my hand at portraits more often.
Thank you. It's nice to see you.
Planning on doing self-portraits all spring, summer. I love it.
Join the club.
I know, right?
Thank you so much.
Nora's asking,
see you guys in the chat.
When do you know when to stop editing a photo? Ooh, that's a good question.
When your family's yelling at you because you never go out. That's how you know. When your sisters are like, you never hang out with us. And you have to be like, well, let me tell you something. This file is 2 gigabytes. And I need to finish editing this picture. Okay, the model's been waiting for 2 months. Okay, the tones are not working. It's too saturated. Give me a break. I can't go to get boba tea with you guys. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
I love it. Okay, but so like I'm curious. So like how, since it takes you so long, I feel like you really put a lot of effort and time into your retouching. Like how often are you shooting?
I shoot quite a bit, actually. I'll be backed up. I'll have like, when I was in LA, I would do like 3 photo shoots a day. It was pretty intense. Yeah, I don't know how I did that. I don't even know why, but I had my stylist with me.
Sure.
My stylist, Sarah, she would be super helpful. But it's just a lot of time and a lot of time spent on so much planning. I feel like I could be a wedding planner at this point. Swear to God. I mean, you have to literally coordinate between makeup, hair, styling, model, the agent. I mean, it's
Oh
a
yeah. It's a
whole
whole thing.
production. Yeah, it's a
Yes,
whole
yes it
production
is.
for a test shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I do shoot quite a lot, actually. I love to travel and take pictures. Okay, I think that's
I love it.
pretty. Okay, so the
Rosali says,
shadows.
Jessica, I love your YouTube videos. I watch them all and also your Skillshare
Thank
class.
you.
And now this stream. Yay.
Thank you. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love all of you. Seriously. I feel like my subscribers especially like leaving me comments like, "You make more reaction videos. You're getting me through quarantine." I'm like, I got you. I will not sleep until I make another reaction video for you guys. No, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for watching. Okay. Kind of good with dude, that shadow is killing me, but it's a part of the picture, but it's like what?
I know.
Like, we're not getting rid of it because it's a part of it's the shadow
it's part
of the flowers.
shadow of the flowers. Yeah.
You guys right here, this area.
I mean, I guess at that point it's like a stylistic choice, right? Like, do you want it to look more realistic or do you want to, you know?
Are we deleting this shadow from existence? Is that what's happening right now? Okay, chill. Why is my computer acting? So how was moving castle background? I just recently changed my wallpaper too, so that was good. Good. Okay, so now that we've kind of finished up the retouching, let me show you guys a full before and after. So that's before.
Wow.
That's after, and let me like kind of zoom in here. That's before. That's after.
It just makes it everything simple, even like the texture, even the transition of the colors too a little bit.
Very simple. Thank you. Yeah, just keeping it pretty simple. Let me just do one more. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm gonna do dodge and burn, like a little bit of it, not in the way you guys think. There's a technique. Why does this keep coming up? Okay. Like this is the window want to close.
There you go.
The brush window was like, hey, notice me. So what we want to do is someone did something where it was like they did a solid gray layer set to 50%.
50% gray, and then you use the like dodge and burn tools, right? Like just on it.
Yeah.
I think you also have to change the blending mode too.
It was like set to like soft light, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Let's just do, there we go. Oh, this is cute. Ooh, we're getting into the coloring. Okay.
Like peachy.
I do want it to have kind of like a peach tone. So what I'm gonna do is like set it to a little bit gray. Set it to, how did they do? No, they didn't do, it was like this gray. Oh, it was like this.
Yeah.
And then I think they used.
I actually think too that you can also do like, you can start like a new layer and then you can like right click and do fill. And then I think there's an option for 50% gray actually. So like,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you can like right click on the actual image.
Yeah. Oh. I'm just gonna do a new raster layer.
Yeah.
Call it a day. We tried. We tried. I used to be
honestly like dodging and burning. There's so many different techniques. Like there's so many ways to do it. And each way like can achieve a different thing too. So I mean, honestly, it's like however you see fit, you know?
That's why I love Photoshop. And that's why it's
exactly
kind of like it is a little bit crazy to learn because there's so many different ways of doing one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna really quick blend this area. And then I'll just go back and like blend in an area that I just want to fix it up a little bit.
Cody says, oh, wow, neat effect. Parmeet says Shift F5. I wonder what that means. Maybe that's it
like closes the whole program. Just joking.
I wonder if it's the gray thing. But Alexander says dodge and burn is freaking me out. In the end, I'm always switching back to frequency separation.
Oh, the retouching. So what I wanted to do is just kind of like enhance certain parts of the photo, which I'll show you guys. It's not technically like dodge and burn retouching, but yeah, I dodge and burn retouching. I'm going to learn it. It's not like I'm going to learn it. I just need to spend more time.
It's just the time. Yeah. Okay. Parmeet was right. He said that Shift F5 is for color fill on an empty layer for 50% gray. Ooh.
Thank you.
I
I'm learning so
know.
much today.
I know. Seriously, me too.
Okay, just
There's so many like
this up.
shortcuts too.
No, I don't really know a lot of the. Well, I know some of the shortcuts actually. What am I saying? But now some people have like custom keys, and I'm like, that is on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Whole other level. I think Brandon said that he has like custom keys. Like I'm like, you are that's professional right there.
That's pro. Yeah.
That is pro. You got like a separate keyboard where you press a button and then it does. I'm like,
and it does what it does. Yeah.
I don't have any of that. I don't have anything. It's funny. I'll get questions about like calibration. Like, do you calibrate your screen? I'm like, come again? Yeah, I don't really. Whatever the screen came with, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I should know more about that.
It's hard. Like all the color profiles too. Like it's so intense. Like, especially like if you do like if you transition from like Lightroom to Photoshop too. I think Lightroom works in like Pro Photo color profile, and then like you can change it. I don't know. It gets intense.
Yeah, the colors based on the monitor that you're using is insane, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get into the dodge and burn now. We're on back to the new layer, and then it's set to soft light, and opacity is at 8%, flow is 35. We're just gonna kind of slowly get into this because too much of this is gonna be terrible. It's gonna look so bad. Like, not even gonna sugarcoat it. Like, we want this to look elegant. Like, no, it's just gonna look ugly. So you want to take it slow.
Right.
Take it slow, and then kind of just going over any of the highlighted points here using a white brush. Did I edit this area in my 2016 edit? I don't even know what I did. I forgot what I did. Okay, but this one's gonna be more natural. More natural. And then we're just gonna darken up some of these areas here.
Yes.
I mean, you could spend hours and hours doing this. I swear.
It is a whole thing. It's
so much easier to do these though when you're talking to somebody. Like sometimes it's like, okay, then we're gonna like you have to like come up with stuff to say, and you're just like, which I'm okay with doing.
I love it.
I'm used to talking to myself, so I mean, not like my whole life.
Are you sure? I'm just kidding.
My imaginary friend.
I know, right? Rosali says, how do you choose your locations to shoot? Do you visit them beforehand?
Wait, like on location?
I think that's what they mean. Yeah.
How do I choose my location or change?
Choose your locations to shoot.
I just like
visit them beforehand.
No, not really. I just
you like wing it. You like find a spot.
I really wing it. Literally, that's me. Like when I'm shooting, when I go to LA, anywhere that's outside of my Airbnb, I'll just take pictures. I'll just find little spots. I'll walk around.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, stand here. I don't really have any. Well, sometimes I will have a pre-planned idea. Sometimes I'll be walking or in the car and I'll notice a nice place or somewhere with nice texture and I'll take a picture, or I'll note it in my maps and be like, oh, I've got to come here for a photo shoot. I'll look at like maps on Instagram, like Instagram maps and stuff people geotag. So just paying attention to stuff like that. I'm always thinking of photography. Always. Like I probably annoy my whole family because no one talks about it with me. Like no one.
I'll talk to you about it. No, but honestly, that's such a brilliant idea. I do the same thing. I take a photo, and you know how you can like, at least in the like iPhone, you can just like swipe up and it shows the exact location, which is awesome.
It's helpful. You gotta always be on the lookout for cool locations.
Yes.
And I did another curves layer. I just I just darkened it up by just bringing that point down, and then inverted the mask, and then I'm just going to go over. You know what? I was gonna study the eyeball so I can know this exact thing. There's like the pupil and then the iris. Is that correct? Someone please correct me. Is there a doctor? Is there an optometrist in the chat who can correct me?
Let us know.
This area. This is the iris.
Ooh, Sharon says another way to create the gray layer from dodge and burn is to do option plus create new layer. You set the mode to soft light and then you press the box for fill with 50% gray. Thank you, Sharon.
She's right.
Love
it. Thank you.
Ooh, we have a Jessica in the chat too. She's asking, who are some other
creatives? It's me.
I know, right?
I'm like typing.
Who are some other creatives that Jessica admires? Where does she find inspiration?
Wow. Well, tomorrow on day 2, I custom hand selected an artist that I wanted to spotlight. Love their work.
Ooh.
But there are a few photographers. Well, not even, what am I saying? A few. There's so many amazing photographers that I follow, that I enjoy their work. Can I like pull up my Instagram? Can I like look up my Instagram? Let me see. Because I really want to. Okay, maybe, towards the end, remind me. Yeah. And then I'll get you guys like my favorites because there's some that I follow. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you guys. I'll answer the question.
Or you can always put them on your stories too.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yes.
And also real quick, I'm just kind of popping out the eyeshadow. I made a raster layer, set it to overlay, and I just kind of selected the color that was already on her eye. And then I'm just kind of going over it.
Okay.
This eyeball doesn't even show. You can't even see that. You can literally add makeup just
I know
from Photoshop. I don't even.
Wait, that's so good.
I love Photoshop, but I'm telling you, me and Photoshop forever, like forever and ever.
Forever, never breaking up.
Like me and Photoshop. The heart. Right
yes. But that's beautiful, and it's like so, like you could just enhance it perfectly.
Oh yeah, let me show you. I could show you guys right now, real quick. I can like change this. Why don't we just change the eyeshadow color? There's so many different ways of doing this.
Yeah.
Wait, but this is going to be tricky because I want to make sure that what I have to do is I do have to merge all the layers. Yes. Okay, we'll do that. You know what? We'll do it towards the end. We'll change her eyeshadow color. Or, I mean, actually, no. What we could do, this is why I love Photoshop. There's like a billion ways to do this.
Yes.
So I can just change it to, what color do you guys want? Blue? Should we just do blue? Let's see. Ooh. We could do normal. We're going from normal to color.
Uh-huh.
Okay, wait. Hopefully this doesn't like look terrible. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
There we go.
And then you just like blend it. Like
yes, you just kind of blend it. I feel like I'm a makeup artist right now.
Okay, that's amazing.
So today's video, we're gonna do an evening wear look, and we're just act like you're going out. Okay, that's it.
Amazing.
I mean that maybe. Oh, and also, yeah, I can even like lower the opacity. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's.
I could
so
do
cool.
it. You guys want purple? And then what I think I can do is go to hue saturation. And I'm getting a little confusing. I hope I'm not. Hue saturation. We're going to do a clipping mask. Let me see if this works first. And then, yes, it does. So we're doing a clipping mask.
Amazing.
Mask that basically tells us hue saturation is only going to affect this brush selection here.
The layer underneath.
And you get to that by holding down the all option key in between the layers. And this is like years of learning, God. So this way you can kind of do the slider and you can look how fun that is.
That is so fun.
This is kind of looking cool.
Oh, I love that.
You can like help me pick. Okay, like what do you think? Like what are we doing, guys?
I mean, I kind of like the monochrome look with like a little bit of a yellow green. You know?
But
that looks good
orange.
too.
Orange is looking kind of cool. I love how I'm like, can you help me? Then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
Then you're like, nah, I'm gonna choose.
Nah. Okay,
That's so fun though.
Like it. Okay. See, it's kind of similar to what we had before, but it just pops it out a lot more. See, this is what we had before, and this would be after. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can just add it on to the other eye somehow. Just like plop it on here.
Tiny bit.
Right? Who's gonna know? It's not there. It wasn't there. There.
They're gonna know.
They're gonna know. Who's gonna know? Can we get that meme? Who's doing the sound bites on this show? Do it. Go. Who's gonna know? Okay, there
Oh,
we go.
hi, Rob. Rob's joining the chat. So fun. Thanks for joining,
Hello,
guys.
hello.
If you're new, if you're just jumping in, we're here with Jessica Kobeissi. She's showing us how she's changing the eyeshadow.
But I'm about to do a whole makeup look. This
I
is about to be a
know,
makeup. Okay, let's do the let's do the lipstick.
but that's like the beauty of just like kind of messing around in
Photoshop.
Photoshop, and just like
Love this.
so fun.
Okay, you got to keep me good on time so I don't like get ahead of myself. So I took a brush now with some pink color. We're changing up this whole look. That's the power of Photoshop.
Yes, love it.
So we're taking just a pink color. Opacity is at 27%, flows at 6% here. You didn't have a makeup artist for your photo shoot? No problem. Photoshop already has any palette you want. What do you want? What kind of makeup you at Sephora, Ulta?
I love it.
We got it all. We have it here on Photoshop. So
that's beautiful.
It's just a little bit.
It's subtle, but it's like it's that's so pretty.
Right? Thank you.
I love it.
I gotta kind of go easy on the eyeshadow though. I think I'm gonna decrease the
opacity.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's do that real quick.
I love it.
And that's what makes it so, you know what I love about this is because it's not on the actual merged layer. So it's not the full image. These are like
exactly. They're all separated.
Raster layers. Yeah, they're all separated. Every little thing is separated. So again, if I want to just change the color of the eyeshadow, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
So now that
you're
I have
not doing anything destructively at all.
Absolutely. That's what I meant to say. Actually, now that, what about this?
Ew, yeah.
What are we doing? Like what? Because like the orange I liked, but then with the lipstick it doesn't match.
I know. That's why I'm wondering if like the yellow green.
This one like this.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty.
Wait, that.
Ooh, yes.
Wait, this? So what about? Is that too much? Like, who's a makeup artist in here? Can you guys help?
Is this too, Udia says hello, and Aaron's saying, Jessica, you talk a lot about not underpricing your photography. I'm just starting out and don't feel like I'm at a point where I should be charging. And then they also say, I want to reach out to a wedding photographer to see if I can second shoot for them for free, but I don't want to take a job away for a more experienced photographer. How do I get experience ethically?
I mean, you're not, at some point you're going, I would say don't be so hard on yourself trying to get experience. At some point you're going to get a job that someone else is not going to get at the end of the day. And if you need experience, I mean, I don't see any problem with kind of building your portfolio up, doing small jobs here and there. And then what I would do is start small, but if wedding photography is something that you want to do, I would say have a little bit more experience before you jump into wedding photography, because wedding photography is chaotic. I made the mistake of jumping into it right away. Actually, yeah, it was my college friend's cousin who was like, hey, we know that my friend does photography. Like, let me recommend you. So big mistake. I mean, it wasn't a mistake. I wish I had more experience. How about that? Second shooting for a wedding photographer is great.
Yeah, you can really
I still think you should be
there.
You should still be paid though. I mean, if you're going to be there the whole time.
Yes,
still providing something. Or if you want to assist, how about this? You can assist the photographer, offer to assist if you want. I mean, I've never had somebody, well, I have somebody now assisting. I pay them though to assist me and to videotape and everything. So I would definitely pay somebody. It really depends. I can't say like, oh, this person should be paying you, oh, this person shouldn't. I know that I do. But maybe offer to assist a photographer on their wedding shoot. Maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah.
It's tough. That's like the toughest part about
I know. Christine says there's a lot at stake in wedding photography. There's no do-overs. That's super true.
Yeah. And I mean, once it's over, like it's kind of, you can't redo a wedding day. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of anxiety. I'm always nervous before doing weddings. I
have a second shooter. Just saved your photo.
Because last thing I want is to lose all of this if my computer stops working. My computer just shuts down. So I'm kind of going to get into the coloring and the toning,
Perfect.
which is
So we have
my
about like
favorite part.
25 minutes.
Okay. We should be done in that time.
Sweet.
But yeah, I struggled so much with pricing. Oh my God, that was such a nightmare.
It's like it's a learning curve as we do curves.
Well, also, it really depends. I know I've said this a million times, but it depends on where you live. It truly does, because some people in different parts of the world are willing to pay more for wedding photography.
Yeah.
They value it way more. And in some parts of the world, they don't care. They're like, oh, $500, I'm not paying that. I can get it for $100. So kind of depends where you are in the world. Not to say you shouldn't value yourself accordingly, but some people, it's just based on like the geographical area in which you live, the market in which you live.
Exactly.
So just stuff, I don't know, it's tough. I know in the Middle East, like, they are not paying $3,000 for wedding. They'll laugh at you. They'll be like, and I'm not trying to generalize, but at the same time I am, because I've been there and I'm from there. So they will just not do it. They'll be like, okay, we'll get it for like $100.
Ooh, okay. So now you're doing some color fills and blending modes.
I did a color fill, kind of like adding a little. I want it kind of like a little. I always want my photos to be like sun-kissed, even though there's no sun clearly, but let's fake it. So let's go to photo filter. I love these.
Ooh.
All these little things. Just been playing around with these for years and years. And now I really just know each layer by heart, like what multiply does, color burn, soft light, overlay, all these things. So I kind of, I have like go-to adjustment layers,
blending modes.
Go-to blending modes. Each one does what each one does. So I kind of do want a little bit more of
Erin says thank you for that knowledge.
Of course. It's really not easy. I wish you guys the best of luck with pricing your work. I would see what your competitors are. I'm sorry, my brain's like not functioning correctly today. I would see what the market is.
Yes.
Where you live, and set your prices based on that. That's what I did. If you want to know why I did. So I would be like, how much is this person charging you? And then be like, oh, like $4,000. And I'll be like, okay, now I have at least a baseline price of what people are willing to pay. And then let me work around that.
Yeah. And you can also like see like, okay, this is that person's like work, like this is what they do, and kind of base, your experience level based on that, and just.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Of course, make it fair. Like don't start out in photography like you've been doing it for 2 months and you want to charge like $5,000 for a wedding. Just because, it's the actually that'd be pretty smart of you if there's like no market and you're the only one doing it. Like, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life or how to price anything. I think every photographer should price however they see fit.
Yeah.
But if, you really want to do this long term, I would say.
So many aspects to it too.
Be reasonable. That's what I would say. Be fair and be reasonable, because you're not just doing it for one client or 2 clients. You want to be doing this like long term. So that's what I would say.
Love it.
And I really want to get back to wedding photography soon, but obviously not. I'm just not taking any. I get emails still about wedding photography, which is amazing. I'm like so flattered people still want me to do their weddings, but just been taking a break. Obviously right now
they're a lot.
Yeah, but hopefully back to that soon. And right now I'm adding like a luminosity layer. I want it to be,
I love how subtle these are, but like once you start building it,
right? Thank you.
Yes.
I love just like adding tones to the picture.
Okay, I just like love how the eyeshadow like really like ties it all in now.
Thank you. I just kind of did it on a whim. Thank you. It was so much fun. It's so much fun to like make the picture your own. This is like from 5 years ago too.
I know.
Let's try to do like blue. Let's see what we can do here.
Ooh. Rob says, pro tip, illustrators watching PS Masters like Jessica is beneficial to elevating your illo refinement game. Editing colors and looks is essential. Yes.
Thank you. You guys are the sweetest. I wish I could see the chat right now. I can't see the chat, you guys. So Arabella is kind of like the chat for me. She's the chat
I'm the
representative.
chat. Yes, I'm the
She
moderator
is
in a way.
the chat
Although Cody's like
queen,
the real moderator.
the real queen of the chat.
Ooh, Moore says, how can a beginner photographer start fashion photography and work with agency models?
Okay, so I have a whole video start to finish, like very in-depth on that on my YouTube channel. You can check that out if you want like more in-depth, like I talk about step by step. But to be able to do that, you definitely need a portfolio 100%. Like actually somebody left me a comment saying like, oh, if I don't have a portfolio, can I reach out to the agencies? There's a very slim chance. I mean, if it's a reputable agency, if it's a large agency, they will not. Like I personally can't see an agency, you know, sending out their girls to a photographer with no examples of their work or no experience. You know, they try their best to send their girls to photo shoots in which they know they'll get pictures back from to use in their book. That's the whole point of the test shoots, you know?
Yeah.
So I would say have a really good portfolio, very solid work, and very natural photos. So
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Alexander says, we all need another episode of 4 photographers shoot the same model.
It's coming, guys. I promise.
Coming, y'all.
This one's so good. This one is gonna be so good. I loved all the photographers. I mean, the outfits, so good. We've got so many cool moments. I really hope you guys like this one. It's just, I'm just so excited.
Jesus says the video is very informative. The one of you know, starting to work in fashion photography and all that stuff. Love it.
Thank you guys.
And thank you, Cody, for dropping in Jessica's YouTube channel link. Make sure to go check it out. Subscribe. Yes. You will learn so much. I mean, I feel like these Adobe lives they're 2 hours, but they feel so short too. Like it's hard to really like share a lot because there's so much, but feel free to dive into her channel because there's a lot there.
You guys want, thank you guys. Yeah, you know what, also those videos don't get a lot of views, but I really love making them because they are so helpful to photographers. It's a really good resource because what if you are looking to work with agencies? Exactly. And also I'm making a black and white layer now. And one thing about this black and white layer is it really can add a lot of dimension to your photo. So just by going from like normal, I mean, there's so many different options. You can go to multiply. It's a little bit intense, but you could do that. I've seen some photographers use soft light overlay. I love using luminosity. Like luminosity is like my thing now. 2021. I'm really just all about the dimension. Like did it even do anything? Hold on, wait. But what you got to do is adjust these settings up here. So you can add a little, you don't want to do too much with this, but you want to go really like light on it. Very subtle. Just to add a little, can you even see the difference? Like I'll zoom in real close. So that's before and that's after. Just very subtle. What you could also do is keep it, and then you could do a tint. So you can add in that yellow tint to it, which I absolutely love. I don't think the tint is going to make any difference because it's set to luminosity, but let me show you guys that same layer, black and white, set to, I'm going to check off this little tint setting here, and then we're going to go from normal to like, let's say soft light. Like again, it's looking crazy. But again, you just lower that opacity. I mean, my layers right now are very light. We have like 5%, we have 6%, very light. You can probably most people can barely see it, but I can see it because I ruin my eyes using Photoshop.
You train your eyes over time.
Yes.
Oh, Jen Eric says the colors look so great now, Jessica.
Thank you. Okay, lastly, let's do selective color. I'm so happy you guys are liking it so far. Okay, let's do selective color because that's also my other favorite. My whole life is Photoshop. I swear to God, you guys, like, no lie. Like I was so excited to do this. Like when Adobe reached out to me, I was like, I'm ready. I don't care what you guys want me to do. Bungee jump. Let's do it. You know, I don't care. Tattoo Photoshop on me.
Honored to have you. So honestly, like, you know, this is amazing. And
thank you.
Yeah. And we get to see your personality and hang out with you in a way. So this is awesome.
Yeah, because this has been Photoshop has been part of my life since that was.
Oh my gosh, tears.
For so long. It's like at the wedding how they give those speeches like, Jessica, like you've been my best friend and through so much. Okay, you finally found the person.
Picture your wedding. You're up, you're walking up, and then there's just the person, but they have like a like sticker of Photoshop just on their face, like a Photoshop logo on their face.
Wedding's canceled. Let's go out. Let's go like hang out. Let's do that. My wedding will be Photoshop themed. Like we'll have like a Photoshop cake.
Oh my God.
Whoever's going to marry me is going to be annoyed. They're going to be like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't even use Photoshop. I'll be like, you're lame. A lot of people use Lightroom. Listen, a lot of people use Lightroom or other photo editors, which is great. Honestly, yeah. I didn't start out using Photoshop. Obviously now it's like it's really a part of my life. Like every day I open up Photoshop. So.
Oh, I love that so much. Fairy says Photoshop is my girlfriend. So there you go. I think people feel the same.
I just love the program. Okay, so we're doing very little. Did you guys even notice what I just did? You probably did. You guys got good eyes. So before and after here, you guys can barely see it. It's like a yellow tint. Like pay attention, like maybe right here. Like a yellow tint right there.
Yeah. A good way to like even see like what something does too is you can always like pull it all the way, just so you can see what it affects. And that way then like you can kind of like, oh, okay, so I can see, but then you bring it all the way back and then it's like subtle, which is awesome. You're the queen of subtle colors. I love it.
Thank you. It's taken me so long to kind of perfect like my colors, and it really varies with each photo because you're gonna have different colors and lighting in each photo, which is what I recently realized. Ooh. So just adding the last few layers here, and then we can take like some questions, and then I'll show you. Oh, I need you guys to vote. How much time do we have left?
We have about, let's see, like 14 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to wrap this up real quick and then we'll have you guys vote because I really
Do you do any sharpening on your images?
Not really. No.
I think I saw someone in the chat earlier. I forgot. I meant to say to bring it up, but she asked if you do any sharpening to your images.
No, like maybe in Lightroom. I'll take it into Lightroom and then like sharpen it up and then export it, but not deliberately in Photoshop. Well, there's a technique that somebody showed in a tutorial that I've been using in terms of like the sharpening, and it's really amazing actually. So that's one that I have used, but I haven't used it. It's like a high pass. It's like the high pass.
Yes, high pass sharpening method. Yes, love that.
Crazy.
I know so that method is really nice for like product photography too.
Right? So crispy.
It is so crispy.
Reminds me of food. I'm hungry. It's fine. Okay, wait. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, I think this is it. I think this is my final. I'm gonna submit this photo as the final photo.
I'm impressed, Jessica. I feel like normal, right? Like you usually take way longer to edit something, but here we like went for it.
Kind of condensed it. Yeah.
We condensed it.
I'm really happy with it.
Ooh, Gino says export settings, please.
Oh my God, export settings. I export these in Lightroom. So I open this up in Lightroom and then I just export it there.
Let's do it.
Really no special type of settings, to be honest with you. It's just like whatever the default settings are. But here, let me show. Wait, hold on. I was gonna do one more thing.
Yes.
Exposure. Yes. I wanted a little bit of like, I don't even know what the word is. It's like I wanted a little more gray in the photo, but not too much because I feel like it's gonna.
But just enough.
Yeah, maybe this. Did it even do anything?
Okay, yes.
Okay, we'll do this.
So good.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna save this because you always want to save. Okay, wait, is that too? Now I'm thinking like, does it look too yellow? Okay, wait, hold on.
Your eyes can play tricks on you, especially when you're looking at it for so long.
Yeah, kind of. I'm gonna lower this soft light. See, that's why like you always want to go back and just toggle on and off. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, that's gonna be. My eyes are playing tricks. Like, is this good? Okay, we're just gonna. This is gonna have to be it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm saving this, and then we're gonna open up the other one. Wait, where is it? Okay, it's this one right here. I'm gonna open this up, and I'm gonna have you guys vote in the comments.
Yes.
And we'll see which one. Wait. Okay. Okay.
Oh my gosh, what a difference.
Right? Okay, guys. So this is where everyone votes. So this is 2016.
Okay. Oh, Sharon says Jessica looks amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is 2021.
Oh, and Manisha says wow.
Okay, wait, hold on. Should I add one more layer? Ooh. Should I keep going? Okay, wait. Real quick, hold on. Maybe it just needs a little bit more contrast. What do you think? Am I like looking at this too much?
I love yeah. Okay.
Yes. That's it. No more. I need to stop. Like see someone ask when you know it's time to finish editing. Like you don't. You're just always editing more.
You just keep going.
Okay. Just keep going. Okay.
So Sharon, we already have a vote. Sharon voted 2021.
Here, let me do it like side by side so you guys can see it better.
Okay.
Wait here. I'll do this. Copy merged. Okay, so should we do like one of these? Like,
ooh, oh, no? Okay.
Wait, no, that was terrible. What am I doing? Wait, I don't even. Okay, so this is 2020. New, old.
Oh, so interesting. Yeah, see, in like your old photo, you like moved the greens like much more to like blue.
Yeah. This one's more like yellowish.
Also, yeah. Okay, we've got Barry says that's hard to decide. Manisha says 2021 amazing. Casper 2021. Paco says the new one. Yep. I'm for the new one.
It's okay if you vote old. Like I'm not gonna like go cry after this. But wait, I'm like
Barry says 2021.
Okay,
Cody
there we
says
go.
New,
That's
definitely.
Thank you guys. So these are, I'll zoom in so we can see the differences a little bit more. So
yes.
So that's the 2021.
Fairy says I love the old one too. Ooh, okay. I love that her skin in the old one too is a little bit more on the, I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of did more with the retouching.
Well, her skin just has like a little bit more of a reddish pink tint. Am I seeing that correctly?
Yeah, so I added like this extra filter over it, but I also added so much green in this final. You guys can see this is like all green. So that's all green. And then I kept the and the newer one, I kept the smile line.
Okay, wait. So we've got Jan Eric says 2021. And Christine, they're both pretty nice. Gino says the old one. Uriel says old one is cooler, but the new one is warmer.
Yeah, I think I did too much with the yellow. See, like, yeah, maybe it is too warm. See, this is where I would go in and
just keep tweaking it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that, but you guys get like, obviously, let me see, like something that's less, now that I'm looking at it, it's like but which layer control? Oh God, you have to like go through. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So, I'm going to be here forever, like just going back and forth. See, I'm never satisfied. Okay, this would be less yellow. So this one, okay.
Basically, you stop editing when your sisters start yelling at you. Your family starts yelling at you.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? My whole family hates me at this point.
Okay, I love the new one, but I mean, I can appreciate the old one too.
Yeah, me too. I like in some ways how I edited the old one too.
But also, do you notice that like in the old one, you didn't do the lens correction? So like
yeah. Mm-hmm. Even the eye. Oh, I did a much better job with the eye in this one. Look at the eye.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Right?
Good job.
Thank you.
Ezra says the new one has a nicer vibe to it. Yep.
Guys, obviously I would probably clean it up a little bit more, but you know, I think for what it is, like, I'm really happy with it.
I love it.
Thank you. Maybe
I
I would.
think there's like I love that, like the darks. Maybe it's, I don't know what layer it is. I think it was at the very top. Was it exclusion?
Yeah, I think I might want to remove. I don't know. Let me see. I think it's.
I like the kind of like where the darks kind of get a little more or the gray. Is that what it is? It's like.
It's this one. It's this layer that's kind of. Yeah, it's replacing the. It's like called lifting the blacks.
Yes, lifting the blacks. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't. It's tough because it's like, do I do that in this photo? You don't. It's like constantly going. See, it's like a difference between this and then that.
Yes.
I don't know.
I know you can go on forever on like all these things.
Yes. Okay, we're just gonna keep it as is. This is it.
Okay.
That's
I love it. I'm happy. I hope you're happy.
I'm happy. I could sit here and edit this all day, like add more things
Edward
to it.
says the 2021 is fab.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Jan Eric says that model is great. Jessica should work with her more often.
Oh, Azizi. This model is Azizi Donnelly. She's actually in some of my reaction videos. My Skillshare class, the model for my Skillshare class. I mean, she's one of my really good friends.
Aww.
Yeah, so thank you, Azizi.
Chris says the new one has a cinematic mood. Love it. Yes, I would agree.
Thank you.
The new one definitely has more. It's very cinematic.
This one, I feel like I just kind of like crushed all the pictures, crushed all the blacks in the photo, and just kind of lost a lot of detail in the photo.
Right.
So, yeah, this one I feel like is more me now.
Yeah.
Wow, why is it zooming in like that? I'm not even touching. Guys, my computer's all over the place.
Well, if you guys have any more questions, we have about like 3-4 minutes left. Yes. Or any comments. Jessica, what are you going to be doing tomorrow?
We're going to be doing another picture.
Okay. An older picture as well?
Yes, another older picture. That one's even like more heavy-handed with the editing. So that's going to be super interesting how I edit that one.
Okay, tomorrow we'll dive like right in.
Ready.
Yes, I'm so excited.
And we're doing the artist spotlight tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. I'm so excited. Yeah. Oh my God. Uriel said, oh, I thought that was you in the picture.
Well, Azizi's Lebanese too. Thank you. So thank you. She's Australian. She's Australian. She's so cute.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. No, you did such a good job. I think it's really fun. I love seeing how you play with like how you build these layers. I think that's like your style for sure.
Thank you so much. I really like how it came out. I'm like kind of surprised that it like turned out loud together. Because sometimes like you're editing and you don't know where it's gonna go. So
how do you think like how was it developing your style over time? Like
it was a struggle, especially like my editing style. Like I needed to start connecting the like outfits and the lighting with my editing, and that was the hardest thing for me, is kind of realizing like, hey, these two go hand in hand. I can't just go shoot in direct light with a bright pink outfit, put on the same colors and expect it to look the same. So you have to start being that mindset. You have to start thinking like, hey, they gotta hold hands, outfits, lighting, styling, and then you're editing. Yes, that's what's gonna make your photography.
Yeah, I love that. And how has your style like changed over time, do you think?
I stopped using really bright colors in my work. I mean, granted, I've used some neon print and prints, like crazy prints here and there, but I'm more cautious about what colors I use in my outfits, I think. And the lighting that I use, like what I prefer certain types of light to other types of light. I like the side light now. I never used to like side light. So just stuff like that has kind of transformed my work.
Yeah, I would say that like kind of like adding a little bit of drama.
Absolutely. And like trying to be a stylist now when I'm not, that is tough.
Oh my gosh.
You guys look at what I literally wear like sweaters and stuff. But I try to dress up in my videos because like people are so nice. Whenever I wear like something that's not a sweater, everyone like is like, "Oh my God, where'd you get that from?" Or "You look amazing." I'm like, "Oh my, thank you so much." This is just comfier for me.
I love it. Well, you guys, that is the end of day one with Jessica Kobeissi. Make sure to go follow her on Instagram and check out her work and her YouTube channel. But thank you guys so much for hanging. Tomorrow we'll be back for day two. She'll be working on another edit as well. But make sure to stick around. Catch graphic designer Rachel Roth at 12 p.m. Just right now in a few minutes. And she'll be doing a fun little zine in InDesign. But thank you so much, Jessica, for hanging with us. And thanks to everyone in the chat. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. So bye.
Bye.